Behind home plate, we bringing it to them all day. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Win or lose, we bringing it to you always. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Orange or black, we rebuild the pack. No matter where we at, you know we coming back. Section 336, we on this, so tune in. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Yeah, welcome to Birdland. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Now, here come the boys from Section 336.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Baltimore sports fans of all ages, welcome to Section 336, Next Generation of Baltimore Sports Talk. I am your endearing starting host, Matt Soroka, and as always, I'm joined by the button lover, Josh
Hey,
Soroka.
Matt.
Hey, Josh.
Welcome back to the States. It's the clearly the longest we've taken off between episodes of 336.
Yeah, I don't know if we should, and thank you, dear listener, for putting up with our absence. I don't know if we should provide an explanation or just, it's none of their business on our absence and why we're gone so long.
Well, I mean, I think we talked about it beforehand that you would be doing some traveling. I did an episode, short episode while you were gone with Zach over at Pigtown Sports. And that was more because, hey, the Orioles were playing decent. It was the end of June, All-Star break. I wanted to talk about some things.
Yeah.
Kind of, can we turn this around? And now here we are, like 10 days after that, 2 weeks after that. And I think we kind of know the position of the Orioles this year.
Well, yeah, and I mean, we haven't talked in a while, and a lot has happened since we last talked. So I've been itching to get on here. I mean, I was even texting you this morning. I never text you before the show, and I logged on here like 10 minutes early because I was itching to talk about, and I'm itching to kind of talk through some of my thoughts on the Orioles right now. I almost even went to Twitter to share some thoughts, and I was like, I can't do it. I don't know how people communicate these complex thoughts about their team and fandom on Twitter. I tried, and I was like, I can't do it.
I've been trying to go to TikTok for some of that.
Oh, yeah,
I went to TikTok
That's a little
yesterday
bit longer of a form, yeah.
For a little, again, and it's not even that it's a longer form. It's a, hey, let me take a minute and just say, hey, yeah, we're trading people. Settle down.
Yeah. But that's easy to do, speaking then, it
is because it is complicated.
Yeah,
because as I texted you this morning, and I think the number one response I got, this is what the Orioles do. They get you excited. They play really good, and then they just completely fall apart. So yesterday I made this video about how, hey, guys, we've got to accept we're trading these guys. I know we played really good against the Rockies, but the Blue Jays are coming to town. The Blue Jays are one of the hottest teams in baseball. They're going to destroy it. This week, the season ends. And then the Orioles come out Monday night and have an outstanding game and play the way that we expected them to play all year. Kobe Mayo even played and got a home run. So they irritate you because those are the glimpses that you see where you say, well, this team is clearly better than what the record shows.
Oh yeah, absolutely they are. And they're still fun to watch. I mean, I've been impressed with, first of all, can we just get a shout out to all the Oriole fans still coming to games, showing up at games. Every time they show like the bird bath, people are super enthusiastic. They're pumped up. I just think we have the best fans in baseball. Yeah. And so that's cool to see. And Josh, after that yesterday's win, I'm sure you did what I did. And you go to Fangraphs, playoff odds. Hey, there's still a chance, 1%. We're not zero. We're not. Some teams are zero. We're not zero. We're still 1% chance to make the playoffs.
You know where my reality check comes in with the Orioles is it's always the same place. I go over to the stand-ins and I'm like, I don't care about the division. I go to the wild card because I'm like, you know what? We were 8.5 behind. We had a big win, and then I go and I look, and we're always the same.
Yeah,
it's like we're always 8 to 8.5 behind, and there's always and then. If I really want to get myself into, the season's over, I look at the fact that the number 8 seems reasonable. But when you look and see that
you win 8 games in a row, they lose 8 games in a row, we're tied.
Right. But it seems reasonable. You can come back 8 games.
Right.
But then you look and you see that it's not just that you're down 8 games. It's that you would have to pass every team in the American League outside of the Athletics and the White Sox to get up there.
Right. That's the thing.
That's the problem.
It's not just like you win 8 and they lose 8. You win 8 and 8 other teams lose 8.
Yes.
Like it's just every team would have to play poorly and we'd have to play great. And if it was, one team ahead of us, okay. But yeah, it's all the other teams who are all, and not all of them, but a bunch of them, by the way, will be adding a big piece here in the next week.
They will be
pieces, and we won't.
And the reason they will be adding those pieces is because those teams like the Twins, the Royals, the Angels, the Guardians, the Rangers, all of those teams are in the hunt for the wild card, and also still have a reasonable chance at their standings at the division.
At the division, yeah.
Well,
we have 0 division and
yes,
a 1 in a million shot at the wild card. So trading
because you'd have to ask for everyone to fail, everyone fall apart, everyone lose while we gain those 8 games, but half the teams win every day. So how do you surpass if half the teams are winning?
Yeah, just do some math here.
Yeah,
everyone can't lose every
exactly.
week.
Can the National League come in and play like 8 straight games against everyone in the American League and everyone loses, we win? That's the only chance, and that's not how the schedule works.
Right.
So this season's over as far as the playoff hunt.
Yeah, and it seemed to start to end, and this is where I want to go with the conversation. The season seemed to start to end at, like, when I left for Tanzania, there was a little bit of hope, and even while I was in Tanzania, they were winning some series, and then right before the All-Star break, was it Miami they lost to?
Yes,
and and that it kind of throwing the towel down, and then after the All-Star break, we struggled coming out the gates. And I know we played well the last couple series, but the game, I think the season really lost right before the All-Star break. So
I agree. The fact that
you could argue it was lost way before then, but the nail was in the coffin at the All-Star.
When you did not sweep the Marlins, and when you lost 2 out of 3 to the Marlins, that was the nail. Yes.
Yeah. And when you watch Kyle Stowers hit 2 home runs in a game against you.
You mean 3?
3 home runs.
He had 3 home runs.
3 home runs in the game.
Yes.
I was like 3. I was about to say 3. I was like, that can't be possible. We didn't really hit 3.
No, it was 3.
Hey, at least it wasn't. What was that Kurtz guy hit 4? At least it wasn't 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my question is, though, Josh, as we look at this season, which has been a disaster of a season,
it has been,
and I think there's no way around it. And we can look at things like injuries, and we can look at other things like not Mike Elias not getting the right guys.
Right.
But even with all that said, coming into the season, we were optimistic, even with the signings or lack of work. And so my question is, what is the significance of this season? Is this, oh my, we're not as good as we thought we were the past couple of years, and maybe our young core is not as good as they thought they were? Is this that kind of moment that we need to rethink this whole thing? Or is this something where it's a bad season? A couple guys had down years, injuries happen, and if we roll with this same squad next year, obviously we need to make some moves, but essentially the same squad next year, that we can again be in the playoff team. How are we feeling, kind of big picture, about this team next year and our young core? Are we okay here, Josh, or do we need to blow some stuff up?
I think it's just a bad season.
You think it's just a bad season? Yeah. Sass is on record. He thinks it's just a bad season.
It is. It's a bad season. It's a lot of bad luck. It's bad bullpen. It's bad pitching.
Sass has been unhappy with the umpires too. He said the Orioles, a lot of calls going against the Orioles.
That's every year. That's everyone. Now that ball call when the pitch last night was straight down the middle. Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
But no, when you look at this team, when you look at games that go well, and you take the core, and you take Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman, Colton Cowser, Jackson Holliday, Jordan Westberg.
Yeah.
Take that core of 5 people. Can you replace them? Is there someone that you would replace them with to improve at any of those positions?
Well, yeah. Here's another way to look at it, and that's interesting, Josh, because I was thinking about it from the same perspective, on like how many key players would you need to replace before like you need to kind of blow the thing up? Like, what's that number of key players you need to replace? And if you,
but I think we're nowhere near that number.
Well, let's walk through it for a minute.
All right.
If you walk through our infield,
yes,
and you think about Westberg and Gunnar and Holliday, that shortstop, second base, third base, they're all extremely young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm biased, right? And I don't know every other team's roster makeup, but I can't imagine going forward a stronger infield.
No.
Second,
What you're
short,
going
or
to
third.
do, with that infield is you're going to get rid of some of the depth. You're going to get rid of Elias. You're going to get rid of Mateo.
Yeah.
Those are the guys you're going to get rid of because that core, when you look at the infield, where would you sign a free agent to play next season? Maybe
Not
first
second,
base.
short, or third. Yeah.
Maybe first base.
Yeah. And first base is interesting, right? Because,
We have options.
right. And the two options are the option's not Ryan Mackhouse, I'm sorry.
No.
And it's probably not Ryan O'Hearn long term either.
No, hopefully they can trade him and move him and get something.
Right. The two options are going to be going forward Kobe Mayo and Samuel Basallo.
Yes, 100%.
Yes.
Or a Basallo Adley share.
Right. Or if you want Adley to play some first
Yes.
there too, that's possible.
Which tells me don't go out and sign a free agent. Because at least as an Oriole fan, as a fan that has watched his team progress, I want one of those young guys at first base. I want Samuel Basallo up here as fast as possible. And if that means first base, I want him at first base.
All right, Josh, but counterpoint real quick.
Of course.
I think one of the reasons we're having a down year is because, and this is not just exclusive to the Orioles, when you have young players,
Yes.
you have more inconsistencies.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
There's a larger variance of playing because it's not progress, not linear. We've seen a lot of like Colton Cowser, for example, Adley Rutschman kind of take mini steps back, and then you'll see them take step forwards and then mini steps back. And that
agree.
happens with young players.
I agree.
Yeah.
But you've got Adley and Gunnar are not young players anymore. Next year,
and
is what,
Jordan
their fourth
Westbrook
year,
too.
fifth year?
Jordan
Westbrook too.
Yeah.
So where do you bring in a veteran? It's either first base or DH is where you're bringing in a veteran.
Yeah. Well, so I agree. We're set
that
with the
infield.
infield. We're set with catcher.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear any trade Adley talk. I don't want to hear it. Get out.
No. As you saw, Adley last night showed the Adley that we could have.
Right.
Yeah.
And
That,
and
the
Adley's
potential.
Yeah, Adley's been inconsistent, but we're not giving up on Adley. We're sticking with this guy.
Yeah.
But then you go to the outfield.
All right.
And here's where you
Yes.
start to
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
All right. So you have Colton Cowser,
All right.
Cedric Mullins.
Probably going
Ramon-
to trade.
Yeah, Cedric Mullins, he's gone, so he's not part of the future. And so that's a position you need to upgrade at center.
Yes.
That's not
Yeah.
on the current roster.
Can you
Don't
move
tell
Colton?
me Enrique Bradfield.
No. Can you move Colton to center? Are you
You could.
comfortable
You could.
going with Colton as your center fielder?
Yeah, but I would also argue that Colton Cowser hasn't been that good this year. Right?
Yeah, I think there's been glimpses, yes. And I'm sorry, but Cedric Mullins' stats are horrible. But the defense, no one plays a center field defense like him.
Yeah.
His range, didn't he just steal a home run last night?
He did.
And then
Yeah,
day before, over the weekend, an amazing dive and catch that I still don't understand how his body got to that ball.
Yeah, he's so fast. And yeah.
And that's also why you're going to end up trading him.
And it always makes me, well, we'll see. I'm curious how the defensive metrics stats, how they shape how other teams view him who don't watch him every day like we do.
Yeah.
And I think I love it. I love that he is kind of in defiance of all these defensive stats or these defensive metrics.
That's
it
what
shows what a bunch of bull hockey all of it is.
Oh yeah, Pigtown Sports is in the chat and says that he ranks worse in defensive center field in baseball right now.
Right. The
with
DFS, yeah.
metrics.
Right. Which is I love it because it shows me how worthless those things are.
Oh,
Or how I would say worthless, how flawed some of that stuff
I
is.
think that's something different subject that maybe we discuss this offseason is I really think one thing we learned from the Orioles this year is that analytics can only get you so far. And I think the downfall of Brandon Hyde was analytics.
All right, we'll put a pin in that one.
All
for
right.
now.
So let's keep going. All right. So our other outfielders, we got Laureano.
Right.
That's been maybe the biggest surprise of the season.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, he's been up there. The top three players on the scene this year offensively
Yeah.
have been Gunnar, Laureano, and O'Hearn. I don't think people had that on their bingo card. And then Holiday, I think, we can throw up there too. So he's been excellent. So now the question is going to be really interesting for him. Is he a part of this team's future next year? He has a $6.5 million option next year, team option for next year. So we could bring him back really cheap.
Which means all that call to trade him, I don't think you do.
I agree, Josh.
Because I think you're not going to replace him for $6 million.
No way. And we've talked about that there is a lack of depth in this outfield.
Yes.
And who are you replacing Ramon Laureano with? There's no one, at least on the current roster. You have to go sign somebody.
No.
And so I think you need to keep him, especially with Colton Cowser's struggles and you're just a lack of outfielders.
Right.
And then you swing to the other side of the outfield. If you don't have Colton Cowser out there, who do you have?
O'Neill, Tyler O'Neill.
Yeah.
No, trade him or
He's
dump
got
him.
like 3 home runs in 3 straight games or something.
I know. Yeah, bank on it and go get some pennies for him.
Well, no,
he's not part of this team next year.
Yeah, I think he is. I think you're stuck with him because of the
Can
contract.
you question?
Yeah.
Can you sign him and release him the day after opening day? Let him get that opening day home run.
Yeah. No, I think he's back. I think he's on a platoon. I think he's depth, right? I think you count on him to play 30 games next year. So that's fine. But I'm not.
No.
He's not part of my plans, really.
Do you try to DH him more? Do you think you can keep him healthy in that DH role?
No. I don't want him healthy. I want him hurt as quickly as possible so we can put him on the IL and make room for other guys.
All right.
So I want him playing every position, maybe catcher. Now, to me, Josh, one of the biggest disappointments of the Orioles season this year, is, and this is biggest disappointment not just because he's underperformed, but my expectations, and that's Heston Kjerstad.
Totally. Yeah. That's the reason we're not talking about Heston Kjerstad now, is because we don't even really know what we have in Heston Kjerstad. I think we're leaning towards bust, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, he's not. I mean, he's older now. I don't know what's his age. 25, 26.
He might even be older than that because he had the whole
right. He was in the minors forever, and so now all of a sudden you cannot, just like you can't count on Tyler O'Neill.
26 years old, so he'll be 27 going into next season.
Yeah, just like you can't count on Tyler O'Neill in right field, you can't count on Heston Kjerstad. So to me, there's a big wide opening there that we need to address, and I think we need to address. Not with platoon players. I know Mike Elias likes to do the platoon players. I think we need an elite, everyday starting outfield, Kyle Tucker type in that one spot.
I agree. Yeah. I think there's a few things where we've had too much shuffling around, and we need more stability on this team. And I think you do that by having more bench players, guys that know they're bench players, not guys that you're trying to fit in all the time. And I think part of that is a more stable outfield as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Josh, we just laid it out where if you look at our starting 9 position players or starting 8 position players, throw DH in there, that we are arguing that you only need to make one addition. You need to make a big addition in the outfield, and that's it.
Yeah. And I think, and I'm not worried. Yeah. When you take our whole offensive team, I would throw a DH in there as well, where I would try to get a big bat for DH and go back to that old school way. And I would go free agent. I'd go for a DH bat, and I'd go for an outfielder.
Yeah. Can the DH spot be Ryan O'Hearn?
It could possibly be Ryan O'Hearn. It could possibly be Tyler O'Neill.
No, it's not Tyler O'Neill.
I'm not completely sold on Tyler O'Neill. Sold out of Tyler O'Neill. If he can stay healthy.
Right. It can be Tyler O'Neill, but you can't assume it's going to be Tyler O'Neill. So I think you need to make a move in addition to Tyler O'Neill, and Tyler O'Neill becomes depth at that point.
I also think that right field spot, that hole in the outfield we're looking at, I think it could very well be Cedric Mullins.
Oh, no, you need to upgrade, Josh. I disagree. I can't disagree more. You need to upgrade.
I think you might be able to get a good deal on Cedric Mullins.
Okay.
I agree with an upgrade. I would love Kyle Tucker, Cody Bellinger. I'd love a guy like that in the outfield.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd love to spend the money on that. And
that's what you should do.
And not only that, those are older guys. That's that veteran presence in that locker room that you want. Right. So I'm totally all for sending that money and spending that money. I don't know if the Orioles will do that. And you know what? Let's get to the pitching, because maybe
hold up, Josh, because just one more thing about the hitting, because what you're proposing here, even just upgrading one outfield spot, and you're saying maybe even Cedric Mullins could be that guy, you're pretty much saying you're running back with the same exact offense, which is underperformed this year.
I am.
Josh, are you aware of our home run leaders? It's kind of silly. I think it's Cedric Mullins,
Yeah, we don't have anyone with 20, right?
Jackson Holiday, and is it who else has 14? Another guy has 14. Like,
Westberg, Gunnar.
No, it's not Westberg or Gunnar. It's not the people that you would expect. And so all of a sudden, there seems to be that, is it Ramon Laureano, Holiday, and Mullins?
Yeah,
are your
Laureano has
leaders.
15, Mullins has 15, Holiday has 14, O'Hearn has 12, Gunnar has 11, Westberg has 11. Colton has 9, Adley has 8.
Yeah, so you think of your offensive production.
Yes.
And Jackson Holiday for a while was leading the team in home runs, and he's not an elite power hitter.
That's part of why I say get a real DH.
Okay, I think we need better players offensively. I think hopefully Tyler O'Neill bounces back. Hopefully Cedric Gunnar Henderson starts hits for some more power, along with Ali Rutschman and Jordan Westberg with full season. But I think we need to upgrade offensively.
But it's interesting when you look at the options out there for outfield or free agents, it's not a great class, which means everybody's going to be going for Kyle Tucker and Cody Bellinger.
Yeah.
Because there's not a whole lot. I mean, I've got them ranked here by market value, and it's Tucker, Bellinger, Lewis Robert Jr., Jaron Duran, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., then it's Tyler O'Neill, Cedric Mullins, Lane Thomas, Austin Hayes, Ramon Laureano. It's not a great depth of free agent this year.
All right. Then you also look at the trade route. I mean, I don't know how you do it. That's not my job. It's Mike Elias' job. But I think you need to make a significant upgrade. At the position.
I agree.
And then you hope Tyler O'Neill can stay healthy and gets back to what he does against lefties. You hope Heston Kjerstad can be healthy and start playing up his potential. But you don't count on any of that. That's all depth pieces. You need to bring in, I think, a guy you can count on to play 140 games.
No, I agree. I think stability all around defensively in the infield and the outfield. I want the same guys playing 140 games.
Okay. Yeah, so I think we agree kind of on offense.
Yeah, bring in a big bat and bring in a veteran presence.
Yeah.
And your options are outfield or first base.
Yeah. And our offense is okay, and that makes sense because Mike Elias has spent a lot of draft capital on those offensive positions, and they're now here, and that's well and good. He hasn't spent draft capital or any capital, frankly,
and he still
addressing the pitching.
He still doesn't really.
Yeah. So how are we feeling, Josh? Let's start with starting pitching and then bullpen. How are we feeling? Because bullpen, I don't even know who's in our bullpen anymore. But you watched yesterday's game, and it was man. Can you pull up the box score of yesterday's game? Our bullpen relievers, all guys that I don't think existed a month ago. I think they just kind of were pulled out of the ether. But we'll start with starting pitching, and
all right,
we've had this year kind of some consistent starting pitchers, but then also Dean Kramer has been consistently, and Sagano and also Morton. I think those three have been pretty consistent.
Morton has really turned it around to be.
I mean, in terms of consistent, I mean like they're on the mound every day.
and then you throw in Eflin there also. But what you did
is
you just mentioned Sagona, Eflin, Morton. What those three guys have in common is they're all free agents.
Well, Eflin has an option, right? Doesn't Eflin have an option?
No, UFA, unrestricted free agent.
Oh, it really is? Okay.
Yeah, for all three of them.
Okay.
Now, I mean, we can make them offers, but that also means look to trade those three guys the next couple days.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So maybe they won't be part of our future. Sagano, Eflin, and Morton. And frankly, I'm fine with all of that. Eflin,
I'm too.
You might want to think about Eflin, but the other two, given their age and their performance, they're not part of the future.
No. And then what sucks is this is the time of year where we said our pitching, our starting rotation just has to get us to the end of July. By the end of July, we'll be ready to bring back Bradish and Wells and Rodriguez. Just get us to the end of July. And they couldn't do it. They didn't do it. Not that those guys are ready, but they're getting close, and it's too late.
Yeah. Now, the guys outside of that, so if you remove Sagano, Morton, Eflin,
all right,
we're left, who's currently healthy, I guess. We're left with Kramer.
Yeah.
Trevor Rogers.
Okay.
You assume, let's assume Bradish is back.
Yep.
And then you have some borderline people, I guess, like Cade Povich.
Right.
I don't know what happened to Chase McDermott, if he's still alive, what he's doing.
I don't know what
that's
happened to
kind of
Grayson Rodriguez.
Oh, well, Grayson Rodriguez. Yeah, that's too. Like, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, I didn't even mention him. He's been so far off my radar.
Yeah. And then the other option would be Tyler Wells.
Right.
Who's doing, I think he was pitching to Adley last week on some rehab stuff. So we've got, again, another spot to spend money.
Yeah. How do you feel?
None of the pitching's been stable.
Right.
Yeah.
Question. Is Trevor Rogers, he's been our best pitcher this year.
Yes.
He's been nothing short of amazing, right? Nothing short of amazing.
What I like about the Trevor Rogers story is there's a reason behind it. They can point to his power increasing with more speed and more spin rate. And they can point.
Because all I've ever heard is confidence. Oh, he's got confidence now. It's all about confidence. But
No, I saw a breakdown about his speed and spin rate.
Okay.
So I don't think it's a confidence thing. If you told me it's just about confidence, then I don't want him. But they show me where he's changed something, and that's where he's gotten better.
Okay. By the way, talking about changing something, just going back a second, but I just want to mention it here, that the Kobe Mayo thing, and then we'll get back to Trevor Rogers, because I want to ask. I
am so irritated about how Kobe Mayo was handled this year.
See, I disagree completely. I think he was handled really well.
What, by just sitting on the bench all the time?
Josh, you knucklehead. This is the problem with people like you.
No. You know what you sound like? You sound like the varsity coach that took the 8th grader to be like, here, just sit on the bench and watch these players play. You're not going to get the playing time because you're the young kid, but just being around them. Don't worry about being comfortable at the plate. Just be around them and let them rub off on you.
Yeah, see, that's your problem. That's what you think is happening. And that's what a lot of Orioles fans think is happening.
Tell me what's
That's not
happening.
what's
Tell me what's
happening.
happening.
Josh, you listen to the broadcast. Every game, Ben McDonald's going on and on and on about how all the work that Kobe Mayo is putting into his game offensively and defensively before the game. You look at, they did a breakdown yesterday.
So he shows up to practice.
No. They did a breakdown of how his stance is. He's moved his hands down. His elbow is less up. It's down. His legs are a little bit closer together. They did a whole breakdown. He's been working his tail off while he's been with the Orioles, and the Orioles coaches have been helping him to get better. You guys think he's just on the bench. He's getting better every day, even though he's not playing the games. And now he's getting his opportunity, and he's really, really successful.
I like that.
Success now is not by accident. The success is the hard work he's been putting in while he's been here. He's not just been sitting on the bench eating orange slices. Come on.
Then you know what that tells me? That Kerstead is worthless. No, that Kerstead is worthless. Because Kerstead had that slot before. And Kerstead had that slot for over a year of on the bench and not playing. And he showed nothing.
Right, Josh. Every player is not the same. Sure.
Right. That's what I said. Kerstead's done. Get rid of him.
I want to go that far. All right. Anyway, I just want to make that point back
to now. So rotation.
Yeah, Josh, if Trevor Rogers continues to pitch like this, which is pretty dominant, are you comfortable next year going him as your number one?
All right.
And maybe Bradish, and Rogers as your 1-2.
All right, well, let's talk about it. So that'd be Rogers number 1, Bradish number 2. Who's your number 3?
Right now, it's Dean Kramer, I think.
See, I'm not comfortable with that.
Well, no, nor am I, Josh.
Who's your number 4?
I guess Cade Povich. Am I missing something? Well, again, Grayson Rodriguez is out there, and Grayson Rodriguez could be the number 3, but Josh, I wrote him off in spring training. I told you, spring training, I don't want to hear Grayson's name until.
I can't go into anything with planning on Grayson Rodriguez to ever throw a pitch again.
Yeah, that's what I feel.
Yeah,
I feel like, yeah.
All right,
this is going to be another surgery and another year out, whatever. Yeah. I'm not counting Grayson for next year at this point.
Right. So, all right. So I would bring in. So I'll bring Tyler Wells into that rotation, and Cade Povich. That's my 5.
Okay.
Am I comfortable? No. I still need. I want a real pitcher. I don't want Trevor Rogers to be my ace. I want to have a veteran in here. Even if Trevor Rogers is the number 1 pitcher, I want to have I want to have
You want another Charlie Morton or Kyle Gibson? I hear you, Josh.
I want a Dylan Cease. I want a
Right.
Shane Bieber.
Right.
I want a guy who's done it over and over and over again.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is an area where this is our biggest criticism of Mike Elias last offseason. And even after the fact where we found out he didn't pursue this second tier of guys. I'm okay if he doesn't get the first tier, but I want him to get offers to all those second tier guys and maybe even offer to a first tier guy because Rubenstein has the money and we haven't spent it yet.
Yes.
But that second tier, I want to be all over. I don't want to be the Kyle Gibsons, the Charlie Moore. I don't want to be going to the scrap heats of 44-year-old men who maybe have a few innings left in their back pocket to innings eaters type deal. No, I want guys who can be at number threes on really great teams, maybe even a number two.
Totally.
I don't think we need a one because I think Trevor Bob's Cobb Brash can get it done. But I think we need two, at least two, maybe three solid number three type starters.
Like a Zach Eflin type.
Yeah, like I think
that was a
Zach
reasonable
Eflin
move.
or better. Yeah,
Zach Eflin or better.
And we can do that via trades or signings, by the way. We can
Correct.
do kind of both with that.
Yes. But in that trade scenario, you are asking Mike Elias to give up parts. He hates to do that. But when you look,
he's done it before.
He's done it before. And I guess his biggest deal would be the Stowers, giving up Stowers.
Oh, the Corbin Burns, last year. That would be the biggest one, but
Yeah.
I guess so. The Corbin Burns giving up DL Hall and Ortiz. So he has made those moves. The question is, do we have the depth right now in AAA to make those moves?
Yeah, and I think
maybe it's a Ryan Mountcastle, Heston Kjerstad. Get some bats out there for a team that needs bats. I'm not sure.
I don't think anyone's knocking on our door about Ryan Mountcastle, Heston Kjerstad.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, but I think we have, and people have written about this, younger arms in single A who would be appealing to other teams. But and we'll add some more prospects too, presumably not elite prospects, by the way. We're not. I saw some people talk about how this is a huge trade deadline for Mike Elias. It's not, because we don't have huge pieces to trade. We have fringe pieces to trade, and we'll get fringe prospects back for our fringe pieces.
Right. So it's not a Duquette dumping the team and trading Machado and everyone. It's not a move like that. Yeah. And it's not what would be the next big trade move would be if you need to bring a part in if you are a buyer. At this point, it's not. We have a bunch of guys, older guys, end of their contracts. We can send them off and get what we get.
Right. We're not going to get a top 100 prospect back.
Right.
But I think, the Soto deal seems like we got a really kind of
that seemed like a really good deal.
Arm. Yeah, yes. For Soto. So hopefully more stuff like that.
And by the way, I pulled up the box from yesterday.
Yeah, what were the relievers?
After Eflin, we had Martin, Selby, Wolfram, and Stroud.
Yeah. Was that none were on the roster? I think a month ago.
No.
So that's fun. So let's transition there, Josh, to the bullpen. So the starting, but again, this is stuff you can address in the offseason. You can add 2 starters and an outfielder.
Yes, you can.
I feel like that's doable.
Totally.
And I feel like you need to with this young core of infielders that we have.
Right.
And you have the money.
But here's what you have to do. Don't wait for the end to try to get a deal. This isn't let's get a bargain in February.
Yeah. Well, and we're talking about this like Orioles should do it, but the Orioles haven't done this. Right. They've
never done this.
Yeah.
And you know what? I am putting this on Dave Rubenstein. You're the new owner. You need to step in. I hate when owners step in. I don't want a Peter Angelos go sign Chris Davis in the middle of the night behind Duquette's back. But I want some pressure put on Elias to say, look at this money. I want him. Here's what I want. I want him to call Mike Elias into his office and say, turn his monitor around and say, you see this bank account? You see this behind me? That's the Constitution or whatever he has. The Magna Cum Laude. Whatever it is. Carta. Look at all this stuff I've got. Get me an outfielder. Whatever it takes. Open up the checkbook.
Yeah. And I'm encouraged by things like the Anthony Santander signing by the Blue Jays. And the Blue Jays, do they still have the best record in baseball, leading the AL East? the Anthony Santander contract has been a disaster.
It has been, yes.
An absolute disaster. And he signed up for a lot of money, and he's not performed. He's been a negative player. And yet the Blue Jays can still have success, right? And this is what the Yankees would always do. If you sign enough good players, you can withstand a bad contract. You can withstand. It felt like the Orioles should be in a position where we can sign a guy, and Mike Elias can have the assurance that if it doesn't work out perfectly, it's okay. You can have a bad contract. It's not going to cripple your franchise like the Chris Davis signing. And so
did you see
I hope we can sign players, and Mike Elias doesn't have to be afraid that this bad signing is going to ruin the next, because that's what Mike Elias is thinking, right?
Yes.
Mike Elias is not just thinking about this year. He's thinking about the next 5 years, next 10 years. And he doesn't want a signing to ruin that. But I think he needs the reassurance from Rubenstein saying, like, this signing is not going to mess anything up for you. You'll still be able to go out and get the pieces you need, even if the signing does not work out.
Right. And what Mike Elias needs to, I guess, the thing with Mike Elias is,
and I have some thoughts on Mike Elias that I want to get into.
Well, he makes these comments that irritate everyone, where he says, "I just want to play competitive ball," and it's no. Competitive ball has been fun. It's time for the next level. It's that next step where we need to dominate. We need to understand that we are in the AL East. You can't just be competitive. You have to be one of the stronger teams in baseball. Did you see what Santander did for the Blue Jays yesterday?
No, I didn't.
See what he did see his stats for the last month.
They're not good.
He's been on the IL since May.
Right.
He's done nothing for them.
And even when he played in April, May, he was a disaster.
April, May was under 200. He was been a complete disaster for them.
Right. So our bullpen, Josh. So to start in pitching, we need to bring in one or two guys.
Yes,
two guys actually, at least.
I think two guys in the bullpen. Two guys.
What, the bullpen?
Oh, sorry, in the rotation. I think two guys in the rotation. Maybe a bullpen part, but I'm kind of. I don't mind our bullpen as much. I think if we had better, I think our bullpen would have been a lot better if our starters could get 6 innings in.
Yeah.
And I think the thing about it, and I think Elias actually has done a pretty nice job of finding these electric arms in the bullpen. And I mean, Batista's shoulder, that's concerning. Hopefully, it's not a big deal to be back next year. I'm not counting him anything this year, but hopefully next year he'll be back.
No, at this point, I would rest him. I'd be like, all right, get healthy for next year. We don't need you. And I really look at our bullpen and see that we leaned too heavy on the bullpen this year.
Yeah. And I think you can,
the biggest downfall.
You can make some fringe signings like Kittredge or whatever in the bullpen. I'm okay with that. And that's another, I mean, we see this at every trade deadline. Everyone upgrades the bullpen because there's such variance in performance from bullpen relievers. And so I'm okay too. Maybe add a bullpen piece or something, but then rolling with it with a better start rotation. And then if you need that piece at the trade deadline in the bullpen, you can. So yeah, I'm okay with that. So as I look at it, Josh, kind of big picture here, and like how many guys do we need to sign to the point where it's too much? And I think about signing 3 players. I think we can do that.
Right.
Or trade for acquire. It doesn't have to be signed. Trade, sign 3 players.
But it
doesn't seem like a full blow up situation.
It's not. It's not a full blow up. It also means spending money on those 3 players because you've got the rest of the team cheap.
Right. Okay.
For now.
Can I talk about Mike Elias for a minute?
Okay. Then I want to talk about Tony Massinelli.
Okay. And you can work on pronouncing his name while I talk about.
Is it Massinello?
No.
It's something like that.
It's not.
Here's the deal. I will get his name right if he's still here next year.
Mantolino, right?
Because I believe he's gone.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's gone too. But the question is Mike Elias gone? And I feel like he's been getting some heat. And I just want to, I think people who are giving Mike Elias, who are saying he's on the hot seat or something, or think he should be fired even.
Yes.
I think these people, Josh, are so insane. And we have been critical of Mike Elias. But I think the takes that he should be fired because of this season's performance, I think it's an insane take. And I want to remind our listeners, especially our Mike Elias haters, a little bit of recent historical context. Okay. The last 3 years prior to this year, 2022 finished over 500. 2023, of course, we won the AL East. And then 2024, we made the playoffs, won 91 games. 2023 went over 100 games. All right. So that's been recent success. This has been a bad year. The previous 3 years were good. And I just want to remind people that in 2018, that was the last year prior to Mike Elias taking over. In 2018, which is not forever ago. Okay, it's not forever ago, especially because in baseball, it takes a long time to develop players and stuff. In 2018, we lost 115 games. Okay, 100. That was a franchise record. Here's what I pulled it up. Here's what Wikipedia, who is a reliable source, said about the Orioles in 2018. It said the 2018 Orioles also set the MLB record of earliest playoff exit since the divisional era came to play in 1969, being eliminated from postseason contention on August 20th, 2018. The record would not be surpassed until 2024, when the White Sox were eliminated from playoff contention on August 17th. So he took over what was an historically bad franchise. And not only that, there was no pieces to work with, because if you all recall, that last year, 2018, is when Dan Duquette traded away Zach Britton and Manny Machado and Brad Brock and everybody else, and got very little, by the way, in return. Those deals did not work out. And so in 2019, just hang with me here, people, because this is an important point of how far we've come, and we forget about it. We get so caught up in the moment, we forget where we were. Here is the roster. Here's the starting 9 in 2019 when Mike Elias took over. Pedro Severino at catcher, Chris Davis, who at that point was terrible at first, Jonathan Villar, Richie Martin was your shortstop, Rui Ruiz was your third baseman, Dwight Smith Jr. was your left fielder, Stevie Wilkerson was your center fielder, Trey Mancini was your right fielder, and Renato Nunez was your DH. And then if you look at our pitching staff, let's not forget that Dylan Bundy, John Means, Andrew Kashner, Asher Wojciechowski, David Hess, Gabriel Yano, Aaron Brooks, Dan Straley, Ty Block, those are guys who started games for you in 2019. There was almost no one, right, that was a good player or that you could count on. Not only that, Josh, again, we need to remember this. It was not like the future was bright. Keith Law, in that same year that we traded away all those players, Manny Machado in 2018, that next year, 2019, Keith Law had us ranked as the worst farm system in all of baseball. Yes. So not only was the 2018 team the worst team in baseball, we were also had the worst farm system in baseball. So the roster was terrible. There was no hope. And in that year too, in 2017, the year prior, do you know how many international free agents we signed?
0.
0 is the number.
Well, I believe there was still the sign in South Korea saying the Baltimore Orioles are not welcome here.
Yeah. And so we had 0 international free agent signings. The analytics department, there was one guy, and that was way behind where everyone else in baseball. And so Mike Elias not only put a winning product on the field the past 3 years prior to this year, but he also transformed the front office. He also transformed international signings to the point now, Josh, with international signings, we have 8 in our top 30, and our number 1 overall prospect, Samuel Basallo, are all international signings.
Yeah.
Those 8 prospects of Basallo would not exist without Mike Elias. They would not be here. They would be on other teams. Basallo would be a Yankee or something without Mike Elias.
Correct.
So let's not forget that either. And so it's not just that the Orioles had a bad year under Mike Elias. The organization now, from top to bottom, international signings, farm system, front office department, is just in a much healthier place.
Don't forget.
I was a Dan Duquette fan, but the whole organization now is in a much healthier place than it was 7 years ago.
Remember, we had to build a whole baseball facility in the Dominican Republic because we didn't have anything there.
Right.
Now, that's still years away from us seeing production out of that, but that's how bad it was.
Yeah, and now we're spending big money, and again, we signed them when they're 17, 18, so we don't see them for 6 years.
No, so it is. We don't have the World Series yet, but he has completely rebuilt his organization.
Right. So my argument, Josh, is he's done all of these things.
Right.
And now he has one bad season, and we want to kick him out the door.
Exactly.
That is, and I'm not a Michael. We criticize Michael Elias for not pursuing some of these things, but it's insane to me how quickly we want to kick a guy out who's completely turned around, not just the president, but kind of the overall health of the organization.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me.
I think it's an age thing. I think it's people that look and say, well, Dan Duquette failed. All Dan Duquette had to do was spend money to win, spend money on major league talent to win. That's all we asked him to do. He failed. And I think when Michael Elias came in, people were like, oh, well, now we're going to do it. We're going to do this. And then what did everyone focus on? Lift off, lift off, lift off. Well, there's going to be problems. Things are going to go wrong. This year's been a complete failure. I don't even know if you can truly figure out what the problem was this year because you have the mix of injuries, you have managerial changes, you have a lot of stuff going on this year.
Yeah, some underperformance.
You've got underperformances. You've got guys still developing. So it's hard to pin all of this year on one thing. I am not going to sit here and try to pin it on Michael Elias.
Right. Now, if this offseason Michael Elias does nothing or tries to sign another Charlie Morton type, and that's all he does, then I'll get my pitchfork ready with everybody else. But he has done too much with his organization to be so quickly turned on. I think is insane.
Yeah.
No, you're right. This is the offseason to watch. If we go into next season and we did not make a big signing, then I'm going into that with this is good enough for Michael Elias. He doesn't need to take the next step.
And it's not just that.
He wants to get into the playoffs and just see what happens. And he has that attitude.
Well, I would say it's worse than that because if we don't make big signings this offseason, to me, it becomes a pirate situation where it feels like David Rubenstein's just there to kind of make money and see this as a business and not really trying to ultimately win.
Oh,
and Rubenstein
gave
us the impression that he was there to win a World Series, that he was the Baltimore guy.
Yes. But see, they're going to they've got that figured out already because they're going to tell you, oh, well, we invested in this new club level behind home plate. We invested in the new scoreboard and sound system. We made this deal so the All-Star game is going to come to Baltimore in 2029. They've got all this stuff lined up where forget what's going on the field. Look at everything else we did.
Do you think Rubenstein deserves his own bobblehead for that? For adjustments on the stadium?
I think
for new sound system, does that warrant a bobblehead?
I think we jumped the gun on giving the owner a bobblehead. I think it's fun. I like Dave Rubenstein last year tossing out the hats. Notice that he hasn't done as much this year. Why do you think that is?
Because we're not winning.
Because we're not winning. It's not fun.
Yeah. Well, and when he was brought in as the new owner, it shifted a change from the Angeloses,
yes,
to who was seen there just as a guy who inherited the team from his dad, a guy who was just there to kind of run the business but didn't really care. He cared more about concerts, right, than World Series wins.
Birdland Entertainment,
right? And then you could not get him. I mean, it felt like we won the World Series with David Rubenstein buying the team. Yeah. Here's a guy who had, the Magna Carta you mentioned, had an endless amount of money to just play with. And he also loves baseball and loves the Orioles. And this is the perfect match.
Now, I'll tell you, I also feel
it hasn't come into kind of how we thought it would.
No, but I also feel for him a little bit because this is his second year.
Yeah.
Last year was just, and here's
Josh, and also Josh, what do we want owners to do after
back out,
Peter Angelos? We want them to open up the purse strings and then leave.
That's why I feel bad for him.
All the decisions, yeah.
Because here's what I feel with David Rubenstein. I feel like him buying the team was as if you and I bought the team. Like, it's glorious that first year. I can't believe I own this thing. Like, let's do bobblehead of you. Sure, why not? I'm
let me throw out some
biggest
more hats.
Oriole fan. I love this team so much, and now I get to own it. This is a dream come true. But would I step in and sign people? No. I would trust Mike Elias because as a fan, I've been trusting Mike Elias.
And it's worked out for you so far.
And it has.
Yeah.
So what can an owner do mid-season when the team is struggling? Not much.
Right. No, I agree. And let me ask you a question, Josh. Do you think Corbin Burns, do you think we really offer, and by the way, even if we did sign Corbin Burns and Santander,
Yes.
both of them are hurt all year, so it doesn't
Yeah.
really make a difference. But do you think we really offered Corbin Burns a big deal? And he just
I do.
Arizona?
I
Right.
do. And
So what does that tell you? I agree. And so what does it tell you?
it tells us that that ownership had to approve that big deal being offered.
And that there is money
And
there
that there's money
to be spent. Yeah.
And I believe that because I know what that's like. Because I like to think of my baseball players as human beings. And I like to think of Corbin Burns. Obviously, he wants to stay near his home with his little kids.
Right.
What dad wouldn't want to do that? So, yes, that's why I want to believe that.
Have you met my kids? But the
1 week a year is enough for me.
Yeah.
Just kidding, Silas.
But if you think about it then, so we didn't sign Corbin Burns, but we had the money to spend.
Yes.
And so it seems then it was on Mike Elias choosing not to spend that money in other places.
I think
right?
that's
all can be the only thing that happened.
I think we courted Corbin Burns. We kept hoping Corbin Burns was going to come back. He made the deal. When did he make the deal? In January?
Maybe.
December. And I think you then took that money and I think Mike Elias then looked at the board of free agents and said, let's just roll with what we've got.
Right. No, I think Mike Elias thought, and this is where I think maybe he's been criticized, and maybe fairly, that he can get the same production or similar production out of a Charlie Morton, Kyle Gibson, as opposed to spending 3 years, 80 million or whatever it is for someone else. He thinks he can do this. But what I'm telling Mike Elias, listen to me, man. You don't need to do that anymore. Like you needed to do that under John Angelos. You don't need to do that anymore. You can spend a lot more money for just a tiny bit more production. And that's okay. And if the deal doesn't work out, that's okay too, because you can go sign someone else because you have a new owner.
Yeah.
And so you don't need to do everything on the fringes anymore.
Correct.
You have some more wiggle room.
December 28th is when Burns signed with the Diamondbacks.
All right. And I forget what the exact free agent landscape, but then
Looked like back then.
Okay, yeah, but then that's still on poor planning from Mike Elias for not having a plan B when a lot of people were speculating that he was going to go with Arizona the whole offseason.
Correct.
All right. But we can get off this. I think the criticism for Mike Elias is appropriate. The talk that he's on the hot seat somehow, or even should be talked about being fired, I think is so insane and off base.
Yeah.
That get out of here with that.
I just typed into Google, who were free agent pitchers still available in January 2025?
Yeah.
Justin Verlander, Garrett Cole, Patrick Corbin, and Charlie Morton is who they listed.
Okay, yeah. And Garrett Cole was not really available. He was always
right
with the Yankees. It was like that option.
So maybe I'd have to go back and actually look and see, but maybe there wasn't much.
Right.
Jack Flaherty was still available.
Yeah. But our argument the whole time was Elias never pursued the Nathan Eovaldi's, some of those Jack Flaherty.
No, he didn't.
Second tier guys.
He didn't.
All right. And he needs to this offseason.
Yeah.
All right. Josh, we do have, this is like, I love this time of the season because I just love trade talk. I love all the different scenarios, who's pursuing who's buyers, who's sellers. I'm into it. I listen to all the podcasts around it.
Totally. I love watching when we had that huge game against the Rockies on Saturday night where everyone scored. I got a text and I just responded. The real question is who's in the lineup tomorrow? I believe the text was watch for a shutout tomorrow. And I said, the real question is who's in the lineup tomorrow?
Yeah,
because you want to go on that and immediately be like, Mullins had a huge game. Let's trade him immediately.
Yeah, I was stressing out because a week ago, Mullins was 0 for a bunch of games. I was like, oh man, Mullins isn't hitting.
He's had a good week.
Oh, Hearn is struggling. Our bullpen was struggling. Like everyone seemed to be pitching poorly and playing poorly. But now they're playing a little bit better. And so, yeah, you want that momentum going into the trade deadline so hopefully get a little bit more back for these guys. But yeah, I'm into it. I'm excited. Josh, we agree on who should be traded.
Yes. Mullins.
Anyone with expiring contract.
Mullins, O'Hearn. Mountcastle's not expiring, but if you can trade him.
I don't think anybody wants somebody.
No.
Yeah.
Saguna, Eflin.
Your rookie of the year? You're trading Saguna, your rookie of the year?
Yeah, I am. That was a total bust.
Okay.
I apologize for my bold prediction.
He hasn't been a total bust. He is.
No, he hasn't. Rough adjustment.
Yeah, he's been a fifth starter.
Yeah. Do not trade Laureano. That's
I
my
agree.
one. That's my one.
agree.
Everyone else, get out there.
Yeah.
And that's
Keep
going to
Laureano.
be, that might be a little tough for Mike Elias because he's going to get probably more than any other of those players we named. He might get the most back.
But you're not going to replace him for $6 million. That's what you got to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I don't think you can replace him for. I don't know if there's anyone there to replace him. And if you already need to replace another outfielder this offseason, and you don't want to have to replace two guys in the outfield.
Right. Eflin, Morton, Seguna, Mullins, Dominguez, O'Hearn.
Cano, you consider?
No, because Cano's not a free agent. We still have him next year.
Yeah, I know, but
No. I've been happy with Cano.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think we're both the same page that we're planning on being a playoff team, World Series contenders next year.
Yeah. This is a fluke. Yeah, we got to win it next year.
Yeah. So
you know what irritates me the most?
Part of the team next year is staying.
You know what irritates me the most about this season is it's stupid, but for years we've been watching this team and been excited and thought in 23 and 24, hey, we're going to win the World Series. Yeah. Well, years ago when this all started, everyone outside of Baltimore said, look at the Orioles in 2025. And it always, all those MLB tracker predictions all said the Orioles World Series.
The number one farm system in this year equals World Series in that year. Yeah.
And it always said 2025. And here we are in 2025, and it sucks.
Yeah, they just got the year wrong. It was 2026.
I hope so. Yeah. I think we're about to start a dynasty in 2026.
Absolutely. So, all right. I'm glad we're on the same page most of the stuff. And we'll see. Again, we'll see what we get back in trade returns.
Yeah.
But we're the consolation prize, I think, for some of these teams.
Oh,
we're
totally.
not the top targets.
And you know what we get to talk about starting August 1st? Once we
get
past this trade line, but when's Basallo going to come up?
Yeah.
And then is anyone worth an extension?
Yeah, we saw the Kansas City Royals extended Seth Lugo.
Yes.
At the trade deadline. I think that's a cool move at the trade deadline to say there was some rumors, will Lugo be traded? And they said, screw that, we're signing him to extension.
We're going to double down.
Yeah,
exactly.
I like that move. I would let's extend Trevor Rogers right now. Let's extend Gunnar right now. Let's do it.
And Westberg. Westberg's my guy.
Yeah. Bobblehead Westberg.
So.
Yeah.
All right, cool. You ready to get out of here? This is a good show.
This has been fun. It's been fun to catch up with you after about a month.
Yeah, I need to talk about the Orioles with somebody, and I can't do the Twitter and stuff, and so I'm glad to talk to someone about this. My feelings over this team right now, because it's a little bit complicated.
That is the biggest thing about it. It is complicated.
Yeah.
But hey, let's get back on a weekly schedule.
All right. Yeah. I'm down. I'm around. I'm still watching this team. Watching Gunnar go from second to home on a pass ball. Let's go.
And that was pretty unbelievable that he can do that.
Yeah.
There's definitely been some fun highlights watching the Orioles this weekend. So don't just stop watching them because they're out of the playoff hunt.
Yeah.
There's still plenty of baseball to watch.
Yeah. And we're going to see more Kobe Mayo play.
Yeah.
And after these trades, we mentioned Basayo, maybe even Dylan Beavers. So I think there's going to be some younger players that are going to come up that's going to make the team intriguing. And there's still some open question marks. Like, I think Kobe Mayo is kind of playing for his job next year, right? Like, there's still a lot of stuff to be decided for next year. Certainly our rotation is not set, and there's still opportunities for people like Brandon Young to make an impression. So there's a lot of storylines to follow, and still a 1% chance at the playoffs.
Yeah. All right. That 1% chance means sweeping the Blue Jays for 4 games.
Well, I bet it goes up to like 2% if we do that. Let's go.
It was a good start yesterday.
We just got to stay away from that 0 number.
You know what? I love recording this show on Monday morning. I like this. I like this 9 a.m. recording, especially when we have an Oriole game at 12:30 and then another one at 6:30 today.
Yeah.
And then 12:30 tomorrow. In the next, we have 3 games in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, everyone leaves. Everyone gets traded away.
Oh, yeah, because we have the 31st off. Perfect time to make your moves before head on your way to Chicago. Just as they're boarding the plane.
The trade line is 4:00 on the 31st. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we have a 2:20 game on August 1st in Chicago because of Cubs day games, which means we have to fly over the night before. So which means I think Michael Elias should just be standing at those stairs by the airplane
Yeah,
and be like, you go. Nope, not going to Chicago. You go.
you have
Nope.
to schedule the flight for after 4 o'clock on Thursday.
Exactly.
Like a
4:05.
4:30 flight. Yeah,
Yeah.
4:05.
Could you imagine if you're sitting on that plane and it's like right before takeoff? Mullins, sorry, you got to get off.
Well, I read I just a tweet I read that yesterday. What was the team for the Giants? Some pitcher made his MLB debut, and they flew out his family. But I don't know how this happened, but they accidentally flew out the family members of the guy who got DFA'd to make room for
No.
one guy. Yes, this was a story I read, if you can believe everything on X. And
I know-
Posey had to go meet with the family and apologize in the stands. Kind of a wild story. So,
Yeah, it was Carson Wisenhunt. Let's see. Giant. Let me just do a quick Google. That's an unbelievable mistake.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable mistake. And Posey was going to take Buster Posey, the GM, will take all the heat. But I'm sure it was some traveling secretary, George Costanza.
Oh yeah, who just misread the announcement,
Who just
saying,
put the wrong
"Hey,
name.
DFA this person, put this
Yeah.
family on here."
Yeah, but it also raises a bunch of questions. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know the context of why that family would think to fly out. I don't know if the guy was scheduled to make a start or something, but it's just weird.
Well, if he was DFA'd, maybe he's never had a start before, and they told him, "Hey, he's getting his first start."
Yeah, or maybe he's a bullpen guy and he might be making an appearance. So, yeah, just a nightmare type scenario story.
Yeah, I don't.
but
Quick Google search, I don't see that story, but that doesn't mean it's wrong.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, it should be an interesting Thursday, and yeah, we'll see.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll talk next week, and we'll see if
About,
that 1%
about the new players we got. Yeah, we'll talk next week about all the new players we got and all the people we traded away, and how much Elias did at the trade deadline.
I can't believe it's already the trade deadline.
I know. Life comes at you fast.
All right, let's get out of here.
All right. Thanks for putting up with our long break. Silas, thanks for joining us. If you like the show, you can follow us on all your social media platforms. And if you like the show, please, if you haven't yet, go to iTunes or Apple Podcasts, and write us a review. Tell them if you're enjoying the show. Give us 5 stars. It helps other people to find out about the show. You can follow us on X. You can follow me on X at Section336. You can follow Josh on X
At Josh Soroka, and on TikTok, Josh Soroka 336.
Oh, yeah, give Josh a follow on TikTok. Thanks for listening, boys and girls. And as always, go O's.